through. I don't even want to say it. Oh. Okay. All right, let's get started here. All right, gang, here we are. I dropped the link in the chat. You can grab it from the chat if you want to come on live. So go into the chat section. You can find it there and come join us live. So, all right, let's get started here. All right, gang, here we are. I dropped the link in the chat. I'm going to mute Rashawn. She's obviously got more than one window open. Okay, so welcome to the call this evening. Lots of good stuff going on, lots of fun stuff. We'll let you guys get on and join us here. Bear with me. Hey, Cindy.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. Love it, love it. Okay. Let's get started here. Give everybody a minute to get in here.
There we are. There we go.
If you have a second window open, please close your other windows. Please, please. Otherwise, I will be muting you.
It's not me. Yeah, it's not me.
Nope, it's not you. It's not you. Okay, perfect. All right. Bear with me 1 second here. Sorry, with all of our little issues here. Sorry, gang. All right, let's jump in. You know what, tonight, one of the things that I want to touch on, we actually just talked a lot about this on the call, is connecting with your clients. And I love this. This is such a great topic. And what do you do when you have those difficult clients? How do you approach that? How do you, as a new coach, work with that? And Kathy, I'm not sure what's happening with your computer there.
Got all snapped.
I know.
Yeah, this is fun. It's spazzing out. It's my computer.
Yeah, no, snap. We're recording. Let's leave it at that. Okay. So one of the things is, you know what? How do you connect with those difficult clients? What do you do? How do you get people to communicate with you, especially when you're new to coaching? What do you do? And sometimes this can be a very frustrating piece. Not even when you're just a new coach, but even when you're an experienced coach, it can be one of the most frustrating pieces of coaching, because here you have clients that have connected and said, oh, I want to coach, and then you get started with them, and it's like dead silence, and you hear nothing. And that can be really frustrating because you want the best for your clients, and you as a coach want to excel with that. But when you get a client who's just not communicating with you, what do? How do you get them to communicate with you? So this is a key piece. And this is part of the reason why I always encourage coaches to make that initial contact with a client. And sometimes some clients require a little bit of hand-holding. And it's not about coddling them, because you don't necessarily want to coddle somebody along, because that sets a precedent that you as a coach really don't want to continue through. It's going to set you up for a very, sometimes a very needy client. But yet you want to make sure that clients know that you're there, that you're available. So this is why I always encourage our coaches to do just a quick intro call when you first start coaching somebody. So able to say hi, you know, how are you? What can I help you? What are your goals? What are you looking? And have it focused on the client. You know, have it focused on them. How do you best want to communicate with me? You know, what are your goals? Where do you want to go with this? And get them to answer those questions for you. But, you know, and I like to direct those questions so that they can't necessarily give a yes or no answer, because if it's a yes or no answer, you're not going to get a whole lot of information out of your clients. So you really want to get them talking to you. You want to get them communicating, and if you start that from the get-go, they're going to understand that you're expecting them to communicate with them throughout this process. So ask those open-ended questions that they have to give more of just a yes or no answer to. You know, they have to give you some detail on that. So if you start that from the beginning, you're going to set yourself up, and you're going to set them up for success a little bit better than if you just start out with the yes and no questions. So, you know, sometimes it's like, tell me about your weight loss goals. Tell me about your fitness goals. If you use that open-ended question, where in there can you leave them open to say yes or no? You can't. You can't. So you want to get them talking. As well as, you know, that's the time where you want to say, okay, how do you want to best communicate with me? What is your preference to communicate with me? Don't give them a, well, do you want to Skype? Well, no, how do you want to communicate with me? And setting that up from the get-go is going to make it much easier. Paul, I'm going to pick on you for a minute because you've been coaching along. What do you do when you're first communicating with your new clients?
What do I do? Like, what's my initial?
Yeah. When you initially connect with a client for the first time, what's your regular routine?
Usually, what I do is I give them several options of how to get in touch, ways that I like to coach with my clients. So I don't just give them, like you're saying, I don't just ask them and let them choose. I give them, like, my email, my phone number, we can text, we can Facebook message, we can Google Hangout. So I give them, like, 4 or 5 options and let them choose out of those options what works best for them. So similar to what you're saying, only I narrow it down a little bit.
Right.
And that's usually, you know, I do a welcome email and then try to set up an initial call with them, or whatever their means of communication is going to be, and go from there.
Excellent. Rashawn, how are you?
I have been doing what Paul is doing pretty much. I kind of go off their profile and take their definitelys and encourage that. So whatever that is. But I always like to have my first conversation a phone conversation or a hangout where I can see them if they're open to that.
Excellent.
And then I always obviously encourage people to text as well or email. Really, any of them. If they need me, I want them to know that they can get me in various ways.
Excellent. Haley, I can't tell if your mom is still there. Well, there she is. Kathy, I'm going to pick on you. How do you like to best connect with your clients when you're first starting out?
It's always a phone call. Always a phone call. I like to make that personal connection. See, she finishes my sentences for me. Yeah, I always make the personal connection. And you know what? I'm listening to some of the things that you're saying about connecting with the client. This one client who I have not heard from, and I've tried over and over and over to connect with. I'm just writing her an email right now. So I'm just telling her that our phone calls never seem to happen in a polite way. And I'm asking her how she would like to communicate with me, and you know, that I would like to see her, you know, get her, I don't know how to put this, but I haven't finished the email. I want to see her get her money's worth out of the program. I want to see her have the advantage of having a private coach. So I'll probably ask her if she'd like to do a 3-day food log, you know, just tell her what's available to her, a few things, but the big question here is how would you like to communicate with me, and let her respond to me. Like I said, she was on that call. She was on the 6 o'clock call. Or no, the 5 o'clock call, sorry. So I see her, and I see that she's coming onto my Facebook page, liking things. She doesn't really share a whole lot. But again, too, just like I told Mark in the last call, if you're bending over and you are doing what you feel is there for you to do as a coach, sometimes you're not going to get them to respond. And you have to be okay with that too. And I think my very last, not this past January, the January before, when we took our first clients through, I remember one guy in particular going through the whole program. We had our call set up. He was never available. He would every so often give us some statistics, and I would, respond to him via email. But he happened to be a cousin of mine. He still praises the whole program and how much he learned. But as far as being a person to connect with, he was very hard to connect with. And I know that he's an international traveler. He actually doesn't live too far from me. But you know what? He still went through the program and still loved it, and still to this day puts some of those, some of our concepts to work for him. And sometimes when I have a post on my Facebook page, he will respond, and he'll respond in a favorable way. So sometimes, you do the best you can, and they just don't. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are fallen by the wayside or that they're not succeeding. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, or the amaranth pops. That's the way the amaranth pops.
It's very true that there are times that we will get clients who just are not very communicative. Prime example, I've got a husband and wife team that I'm working with right now, and I connect with her once a week. Her husband, I hear nothing from. Nothing. I've heard nothing from him, but I talked to her over the weekend, and she says, "Oh yeah, my husband's down 40 pounds," and I'm like, "What?" So there are people who are going to do this program a little bit more independently. The key is getting them to communicate with you every now and again. And we've had this before where we'll get clients that, they'll check in maybe once a month. And if that's what's working for them, then, we as coaches have to respect that that's what's working for them, just as long as you can get them checking in with you. I know it's very frustrating when you get a client who doesn't communicate with you at all. And you can only do so much. Excuse me. You can only do so much. And I know I've had this discussion with many of you coaches. They're not responding to me. They're not responding to me. And that's when we get into this. Well, you know what? Send an email. You want to put your program on hold. And sometimes that's enough to spark somebody. And it's coming up with that little tagline. Did something happen to you? Get them interested in reading the email. And then again, you may have clients who say to you, I don't check my email. I don't check my email. So that's why I feel like that first call, that introductory call, is the important one, because that's how you really need to set up with your client how you're going to communicate. And they might not always want to tell you that, hey, I don't need regular communication with you. I'll call you when I need you. But just make sure that you guys are on the same page with that. You want to absolutely make sure that you're on the same page with that. So, now, questions. What questions do you guys have?
I have a client that's signing up next week for Reels, like my first one, like my paid client.
Uh-huh.
She calls me or sees me.
No, Kathy's clapping. I'm clapping for Kathy because she's in the background clapping.
And it's kind of exciting, and I have my guinea pig client, and she and I, we meet every week, and she wants to start posting Like she's going to do her accountability with me tomorrow. Now, do I put it through? She's going to go right through the membership tracker. She's got the membership and all that. So you'll see that, right? Is my name down as coach?
You're breaking up, Og. Say it again. Sorry.
Okay, so she's going to post tomorrow, okay? Like her stats, you know, her data. And show it through the portal, right? Because I'm going to do it for the first time tomorrow, so I might have to call you and have you walk me through it. But she's going to do what I did with you, Jill, but she's going to do it tomorrow for the first time.
Yes. Have her update. Have her update.
Yeah.
Just like
Can you hear me now?
No, you're still. It seems like a really bad connection. It's hard to hear you.
Ah, dang. It's been hard tonight. So anyways, just to let you know, that'll be the first one for me tomorrow. And then the other paying person, the person who's going to start paying, is going to start doing it next week. So I'll be calling you for that, because you'll have to walk me through my first time. My first time. I'm a virgin.
No problem. No problem.
You know, I really enjoy hearing all of you guys and what you're going through, because I'm going to be, you know, actually doing this now. So.
Well, and this is where I encourage you, you know, and this is part of the reason why we've created the Coaches Lounge, and this is part of the reason why we also have Slack. This is a way for you to communicate with us. So the Coaches Lounge is there. You can post. You can ask for suggestions. You can definitely, you know, ask for networking advice, because you've got new coaches in there. You've got coaches that have been coaching a while, and we're in there. So definitely do that. With that said, realize that we are going to be moving that Coaches Lounge over into the membership. I'm working on that right now, so we will be moving that over there, and so you won't have to jump between formats anymore. We'll all be inside the membership. It'll just be a private place for those who are coaches and going through certification. So you'll have a home base within the membership, which I think will be much easier for everybody. So, you know, but tap into your resources. It's so key. I never want you to feel like you're floating out there alone and that you can't tap into the resources. We wanna help you through this and help you be successful coaches. And so in order to do that, you gotta let us know when you've got issues that you're not sure what to do with. Same thing with, and I just touched on this on the previous call. You know, start to get inside that membership and start to respond to people. You know, you don't have to be the expert on this. So if you see a post that you think you know the answer to, feel free to respond to that, you know, and just encouraging people. The more you start to get familiar with posting and responding and connecting with people, the easier it's going to be when you start to coach. I mean, just prime example, I'm telling you, get comfortable with being on camera. This is going to be part of, and I'm looking at Cindy's face, because I remember when we first talked about this, and she's like, no, and I was the same way. You have to find that comfort level with this. And so I encourage you, you know, start shooting, even if it's short little 30-second videos on your phone. Start to do it. You've got to get that comfort level going with this. Post them in the membership. You know what? It's a safe place to post this stuff, because nobody outside of the FitLife community is going to see it. It doesn't get posted anywhere else. So it's a safe place, you know, perfectly safe place for you to post that stuff. And don't be afraid. You've got to step out of that comfort zone and realize that, excuse me, you know, part of growing with this is moving into, you know, new technology and new things, and wrapping yourself around that, embracing that. So, you know, I don't want to get on camera. No, I want you to step beyond that comfort zone, and I want you to just do it. And I know Kathy's in the background saying, just do it scared, just do it scared. But just start out on your phone, you know, start out on your phone, shoot simple things. Maybe you're going to make a juice. You know what? Toast the community with your juice, whatever it is, but start to do that stuff and start to get that out there. Same thing with creating posts. You know what? I'm at the point now where, and Rashawn knows this, anybody who's spent time with me knows that I do not eat a meal before I take a picture of it first. So you know what? Start creating meals that look pretty, and take pictures of them, post them, whether you post it in the membership, whether you post it on your Facebook, whether you post it on Instagram. Start to create those, excuse me, sorry. Start to create this stuff and put it out there. Start to do that. So, and part of that, and the reason why I'm telling you to do this, is it because it's going to start to get you familiar with all the different aspects of creating social media, doing this stuff. So figure out, pick one thing. So maybe you're going to just start posting on Facebook. Okay, so start making pretty posts on Facebook. Maybe you're going to choose Instagram. Just start making posts on Instagram. Make them pretty. Play around with the app. Get in there. Play around with it. You cannot break anything, so just get in there and play around, see what you can create. And trust me, in the process, I have created posts. I'm like, I don't want to post that, so I just delete it and start over again. It's not the end of the world.
All right, Jill. I want her to say what she just said to me when she was. Go ahead, say it.
Yeah, you can't break anything, but you can make yourself look like a bloody idiot.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I'm not afraid of that anymore.
Oh,
People love humor. People love humor, so that's good. Use the humor.
From the girl who posted her accountability today to May, I was jumping up and down on a trampoline and I posted that video. So, if that's not getting uncomfortable, I don't know what is. So,
Wow.
just do it. So, Haley, you know what? I don't care if you look like a bloody idiot, because you know what? It's about learning to laugh, and it's about learning to laugh at yourself, because you know what? Sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself. It is what it is.
You know what, Jill? You know what I do now? I used to be afraid to watch myself. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
I'm right
Oh,
here.
there you go. Okay. I used to be afraid to watch my own video, and now what I do is I'll watch an old video of mine and I'll pick it apart and try to make it better. So it is truly a hump that you have to get over. It really is. And you know what? I'm here. I'll just make her do it.
Well, and this, I'm telling you, this is a big mindset piece that each one of you are going to have to work through, is that piece of, I can't put myself out there. What will people think? You know what? You need to turn that around. You need to turn that around. And think of it not what will people think. Who might I inspire? Who might I inspire by what I am putting out there? There is always going to be criticism no matter what you do. There are going to be people that I like to, there are going to be haters out there who are going to say, whatever. But you know what? Then there's going to be this little population of people who say, oh my gosh, you know what? If you hadn't posted that, that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly how I feel. Please help me. So think about that. I want you to start reframing this about not who's going to say what about me, but who might I inspire? Okay. And if you have to put that on your vision board, I want you to all put it on your vision board and say, who might I inspire? Stop being afraid.
Where'd you go?
To put it out there and say, okay, you know what? Here we are. Here we are. So.
That's so true. You know, I only have my transformation story on YouTube. And I got another subscriber today to my YouTube channel, so I think I maybe have 4. And I'm like, I only have one video. And now these people are relying on me for videos, and I have yet to make another one. So I do really need to make that a priority. It's true.
You absolutely do, and you need to stop worrying about what other people think, and you need to focus on, why did you start to do this? Why did you start to do this? What drew you into it? Because obviously you feel passionate about it and you want to share that with other people. And so the only way you're going to be able to do that is by putting yourself out there, and it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. But, you know, I'm going to tell you, see here's crazy me jumping up and down. You know, and by being authentic and putting yourself out there, that things are going to happen. So don't be afraid. And I remember Kathy and I had a conversation about a year or so ago, and she's like, well, I can't put my transformation photos out there. Who might see them?
Wait, I got to show you something. Hang on.
Who might see them?
Hang on, I got something great to show you.
And you just have to get past that fear. You have to get past that fear.
You see it?
What is it? Wait. I have to see it.
I'm going to show it to you a little at a time.
Oh my God.
You know what? Magnets for our cars. That's a poster on a magnet on our car. I'm doing it.
Hey, there's a poster.
You know what? I'm speaking tomorrow. I was asked to speak. Excuse me. I was asked to speak at the Green Berry. It is a juice bar. Jill, in Irwin, which is where the farmers market is, close by. I'm speaking tomorrow, and I thought, of course, you echo in my mind all the time. First of all, what is it that's going to speak volumes? And what speaks volumes is my before and after. And so I may not know exactly what I'm going to, well, I do know what I'm going to speak about, but I don't have it completely down. But I'm going to talk about Kathy in the first picture, and then I'm going to talk about Kathy in the second picture and the difference between those two women.
Yeah.
And it's going to be up there, and it's going to be, it's that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And, you know, this person who wouldn't even post it on Facebook is going to post it, I don't know, in front of how many people tomorrow. Now, it's probably going to be 15 to 20.
Wow.
It's on a big board, and if it rains on it, it won't matter. I paid $55 for it, and it's going with me to the farmer's market, and it's going with me wherever I go.
Good for you. Good for you.
That's amazing. I love that. And that's why I say it's about stepping out beyond. You have to face those fears. You have to face those fears, and you have to step out beyond them, and just do it. It's not about perfection. You know, you don't have to have this perfect body. It's about knowing that your life is better, that you've gotten healthier, and that what you're doing you're passionate about what you do, and sharing that with anyone who is ready to listen.
Jill, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Haley has pretty much grown up her whole life with me, and when I found Fit Life, I mean, that's when I found, you know, I've been on this road for nutrition for, gosh, it's going on like 26 years. Fit Life was the key, the real key. But she's grown up in a healthy way. She's never been overweight. So she's saying, I don't have a rags to riches story.
What do you do about a story?
What's your mom's story?
Use your mom's pictures.
No. You know what, Haley, your story has to revolve around where you are at in your life. And yes, you've grown up in this, so you have a really good background. However, look at other youths your age. You know what? What are they doing? What are they doing? I guarantee that a lot of them, you know what? They live on fast food. You know, they drink a lot of soda. They're doing all kinds of unhealthy things for themselves. And think about that. You know, how old are you, Haley?
Wait, go ahead.
21.
You're 21. Okay, so you're 21, and you think about this. You know what? How many teenagers go off to college? And you know, it's gotten to be like this little misnomer. Oh, the freshman 15. Well, the freshman 15 has really turned into the freshman 25, and sometimes it's more than that. And what you need to do is you need to speak to those. You need to speak to your generation and say, look, you know what? That you don't have to. You don't have to give way to the freshman 15. You don't have to do that. So you need to figure out You know, what is your story? What has changed in your life since you've started with FitLife? What has become better? You know, I want you to, you know, really sit and think about what's changed in my life and how has this affected me? Where's my mindset at? Where are these things at? That is what is going to be your unique journey and what it's done for you. You know, I know Karen, I'm going to pick on Karen because I know she's watching this call. You know, Karen came to us, and Karen's a rock star. Karen's a Beachbody coach who's now decided she wants to live the Fit Life lifestyle. Sorry, Karen. But she works out like a fiend, and she's figuring out how this works in her lifestyle. And it's going to be different for everybody that does this program. Everybody's got their own journey. Everybody's got their own thing. You have to figure out what it is for you and where this is taking you. And your story is probably going to be, it's not going to be anything like your mom's, you know, but think about what happened in your household even just a year ago, you know, with the whole getting off the sugar, getting off the grain, you know, all of this stuff. Think about how that's affected your life and what it does for you. That is where your story is going to be. Everybody has their own unique story. My story is nothing like Kathy's story. My story isn't, even though Rashawn and I have similarities, our stories are still different. You know, same thing with Olga. Now, I can tell you that, you know, Rashawn and I, we resonate with each other. Same thing with Olga. You know, yes, do we have similarities that brought us together? Absolutely. But our stories are still completely different. So figure out exactly what your story is. Cindy, you've got another whole big story. You know what? That's going to resonate with other people who are going to say, oh my gosh, you are such a brave woman. You know, you're doing incredible things. So think about what Fit Life has done in your own life and go on that. Don't feel like you have to be like everybody else. Everybody's journey is unique. So embrace what your journey is and go with it. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now, especially because
seriously though, she's got a very unique situation working for her. Mm-hmm. Being a young person in our society today, I would be fascinated by your story, and I can't wait to hear it, quite honestly, because it's a totally different perspective. And peer pressure alone, I'm glad I'm in my 40s.
Well, what a great role model. Great role model.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what makes this story even more different? She's never been in the school system. We're homeschoolers.
Oh.
So, I mean, so there's been any peer pressure, so to speak.
Well,
you know?
I'm telling you, Haley.
Really?
Good Lord, I'd love to have you connect with my daughter who's 21, who has a completely different lifestyle, you know, who has confessed to me, Mom, I'm a sugar addict and just leave me alone. So, you know, you've got so much to share, and yeah, I want to be able to put your story out there so that we can help those who are struggling, you know, those in your age bracket, even, you know, from early teens, who are struggling with this and don't know what to do. They hate the fact that they're picked on, you know, that they're ostracized for all the issues, and you know, they look at, okay, what do I do? Who do I go to? You know what? I'm not capable of taking care of this, and you can show them that, you know what, there is a way for you to do this. There is a way to make this happen, and they're going to look to you as their role model to be able to say, well, okay, there's an answer for me.
And feel free to reach out to us. I know we're Facebook friends. If you have questions or need ideas, anything like that, reach out to us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Reach out to the old folks.
And I will be the first one to say, Haley, for being 21 years old, you have an incredible amount of wisdom, my dear. So embrace that.
There's so much out there with bulimia and anorexia, and you know, it's the whole opposite end of all the sugar and all the overeating. There's the kids who are using how they eat. You know, stop it, work. So you know, there's a lot that you can cap on.
Yeah, I love that. So think about that. You know, I'm gonna give you my piece of advice. Just let it marinate with you, and figure out, think about these things. Start to jot things down when they come to your mind of how this has affected your life, and out of that is going to blossom all of this. I guarantee it, and your mother will tell you it will happen because I've watched it happen with her. So just start to jot those things down, keep track of that, and it will happen. Oh, and I give this advice to all of you, as you create your story, as you create what's you, this next piece of your life, start to write these things down, and maybe keep a notebook next to the bed, because it may be in the middle of the night you're going to wake up and you're going to say, oh my gosh, write it down. Write it down. So definitely. All right, we're actually over time here, and my poor Oliver is calling me.
He's crossing his legs, isn't he?
He is crossing his legs. So, all right. If you have more questions, comments, anything, please feel free to email me, message me, whatever. I'm happy to work with you guys, because this is all about you guys finding success with this. So I want to help you make that happen. So whatever you need help with, let's make that happen and get you moving forward. So.
Hey, I get to hunt Phil in person on Friday.
Yes.
I'm going down there.